Okay, the match is
Okay, we're live. Here we go. Time to see what the lineups are. We're looking at one support, one assault, one recon, obviously, but RTJ is going to take the support as predicted. BK instead is going to be recon, so this is not what I expected. Psych being assault. Mugi taking up recon, Tentacles, support, and Scriber assault.
Mugi's already taken the ghost, and he's going to be moving up to the side bridge.
Yeah, the sky bridge is a very nice place to have the ghost on because he will be able to see most positions from there.
Drops the ghost, he's running back to his gun, cloaking up. RTJ is pushing through. Psyche is underground watching by one of the lockers.
We are looking at Mugi already having a shotgun, which he seems to have traded from Tentacle Relaxation.
Mugi's going to make the push in underground. Psyche's there to stop him. Psyche throws a nade, and he gets the kill on Mugi.
So far, both teams don't seem to be that aggressive besides one-by-one picks.
Scriber just got the kill on BK, so it's 2v2 now. Both teams are playing really reserved though. Oh, Tentacle throws a nade down at Psyche. Tentacle's repositioning with Scriber. Oh, they get the frag on Psyche. It's
All
a
down
2v1
to
situation.
RTJ now.
Yeah. RTJ seems to be on the flank.
So, WorstNT is now going for the ghost. They're in a position to do so because they have one support that is facing them. So, either they manage to push past them, just capping it, or they go for the kill, which seems to be the current action here.
Tentacle's firing on RTJ. RTJ is 86 HP. Tentacle's on 64.
Scriber is now going to go for the cap here. So, RTJ most likely is trying to stop it or push himself into death.
Oh,
No way of
Scriber's on
stopping
85
him now.
No, we're stopping it. Looks like the round goes to NSF, or WorstNT. And there's the first point.
Some post-round kills.
Cheeky and frags, yep. Looks to be the same setup from NSF.
Lineups are completely identical here. So I just realized the server is in favor of Jinrai, or like Smelli Skanks in this case, because all of them have European pings, whereas WorstNT is completely consisting out of NA pings here. Pretty aggressive push from BK. Just checking out by sound, most likely. Now he's falling back to the ghost. Most likely going to pick it up for some intel. And there he goes.
He's going for the cap. Oh, NSF can't stop it. Yep. Round went Jinrai this time. Much faster, more aggressive round, I'd say. Especially on BK's half.
So we got a 1v1 in terms of points here. Nothing's decided so far, just that corporals are on Jinrai all around, whereas Mugi is still private on WorstNT. Lineups remain the same, it seems, so not much of a difference there.
I'm surprised no one switched up yet.
I am not, because it seems to work out for both teams so far. I'm just surprised that BK is actively playing Recon and he's pulling it off.
Yeah. Oh, RTJ's down.
BK dropped into the cubby hole, right through the smoke.
I think Jinrai are at a disadvantage here.
What also is very interesting is that both teams ended up having a ghost cap in their first round, so they moved up into the ranks fairly quickly. Not a big difference because it's just a corporal rank, but points are points in this case. Scriber very low, has to play carefully, facing off against Psyche any moment, unless... Nope, Psyche's pulling back.
BK is just sat in that little hole.
It's also interesting that both recons are not very aggressive in this. They're mostly just playing by intel, because most likely there's two ways of playing recon in this tournament. One is for intel, and the other one is for active flanking.
BK's on 3 HP, incredibly low.
Scriber now taken down with a demise from the headshot right there.
That leaves Mugi and Tentacle on ridiculously low HP.
It's still not really that decided because everybody has taken a heavy hit here. BK being the lowest, now pushing close to the tarmac. Though both of them are still very hesitant, I don't feel like any of them are trying to go very aggressively here, besides Psyche now taking the initiative. So they're pushing onto the tarmac. Both of them getting overwhelmed by Tentacle just picking them off.
Those are some great frags there.
First classes and all, it's very important that the support remains alive if there's speedy classes around. Whereas the assault might utilize motion vision, the support will end up having thermal for their own smokes and the possibility to have heavy weaponry right from the start. That, and as we saw with Mugi trading weapons early, it might be a heavy factor for the recon.
Yeah. They don't seem to be trading weapons anymore though. I think it's just working out now with stock loadouts.
It could be either that or just the fact that they want to make sure that in case of early picks like that happened just now, people will be able to utilize heavy firepower.
Tentacles down after a late push up on the roof.
Really seems like Smelli Skanks is starting to get more and more aggressive with each round, picking them off fairly early as they push hard. Mugi now down to holding his part with Zedar's silence he picked up. So not that he will go unnoticed, because the ghost has been picked up.
And there goes Mugi.
This means that both teams are back on even. We don't know who's going to win this, and yeah. So far, none of them have switched up the layout for their teams either. We might see a difference now.
Yeah, especially with with Jinrai having 2 sergeants and 1 corporal.
Doesn't seem to really bother them because they're still on the same lineup here.
Yeah, I think they've just found like a way that that it sticks and it's working. So BK is pushing over roof.
Nobody's really moving much at the moment, besides that Jinrai has control of the roof and the basement. So BK might run into Scriber soon. Tentacle kicking it off with the first kill here.
Mugi's that pack goes.
I mean RTJ kicking it off by killing Tentacle, my bad.
Mugi's watching out the windows as to see if anyone's pushing from that area.
BK the only one doing active scouting by moving around, everybody else being a bit more static. Psyche now moving up in the basement very slowly, bit by bit. He might be running into Scriber sometime soon if he keeps going that route. Scriber now checking his back. Also peeking at the ghost. I think both teams are really anxious about not letting the ghost out of sight, because both teams actually started off by capturing ones.
Regardless, I think NSF are fine if they let the ghost out of their sight. Mugi not so much though, as he's dead packed it.
So they might clash any moment now. RTJ slowly pushing into the tarmac onto the ghost. Scriber still having his eyes on that, so an encounter is close to inevitable.
BK moving into server room. He's leaving now. And they have the ghost.
So let's see how NSF handles this now. Scriber has an eye on it.
Jetpack set up by Mugi, well placed.
What a trade. Now, it's down to Assault versus Recon. Both of them have an MX. Psyche probably saw BK right here. Not Psyche, I mean Mugi.
You can feel... Oh, and Jinrai have won. Probably just a draw though, since plugins.
No, it's Psyche, BK, and Mugi, so... I mean, I'm not sure how it's handled in this case.
Yeah,
okay, no team point awarded.
That's good.
I wasn't sure because things have been changing every year and every tournament. So in this case, okay.
BK
So
going
back
B7.
to 2 points. Sorry for interrupting here.
It's fine. RTJ is just watching.
So BK holding is part of being the recon that gathers intel. He picked up the ghost early, probably uncovering Mugi's spot and Scriber's spot. Tentacle taken down by Psyche again.
Got Mugi with the Z all along.
Seems like Psyche, even though he's the assault, is the most aggressive chain link in the whole team, because BK always goes forward, starts scouting, falls back. Psyche then starts picking off, being hardcore with his bunny hops, and the rest of the players in the whole match, besides Mugi, have been fairly static. Mugi's pretty daring though, by having a setter along to check out the tarmac. Not sure how he will utilize this though.
That puts him at a heavy disadvantage though if he gets caught in another 1v2 situation. Or any form of situation that kind of leaves him on his own though.
So Scriber's cornered. Takes the initiative on blasting Psyche here. Not that it really matters because he still is uncovered by the ghost from BK occasionally checking.
He's playing very passively aggressively here with his ZR long and Skybridge.
He's not getting the shots though. And this is where what I mean about the support being very important. He smoked Mugi out of here. Scriber also taking down BK, so it's down to RTJ to kind of make use of his last smoke. I think he only used one.
Oh. Looks like the point goes to NSF.
Scribo taking 3 kills here.
And that was Deep Frog out of the left corner of the stream, giving the stats. He won't be talking much, and I hope he's loud enough, because people have been calling out that your microphone is very quiet when you speak.
Sorry.
It's all good. So, we got 2 sergeants on both teams, the lineouts still being completely identical as it was on the start of the game. BK utilizing the ghost again, right at the start to gain intel. Little update from Agile as we speak. Ties still don't count towards the score, but they also don't count towards the round limit. It's always first to 7. So there we have the clarification of the rule set here. Jinrai quickly took the lead, which was equalized by Tentacle here. It's just interesting because Psyche seems to be the entry fragger for this team as the assault.
With their entry fragger down there, it's going to require some different tactics now.
Team lineups are still identical, both have their recon and both have their support. So smokes may render useless if the other support is there to smash the party. BK perfectly timing his jump towards Mugi, getting right from behind. RTJ also finishes off the support. One could think it might be a bit personal here because each class is trying to pick off the equal class of them on the other team. At least it has to be, like, it has been the case a lot, unless, for example, Psyche ran into a different class earlier. What also could be the case, and this might just be very high speculation, is that people don't change their classes because they maybe forgot that it's allowed. So we got NSF slowly catching up here. Scriber ran right past BK, not seeing him cloaked behind the desk at all.
He gets the kill on BK.
The whole, like, NSF seems really far apart here for some reason. I don't know why they keep splitting up, but we see Smelli Skanks working as one unit most of the time. Psyche scouting ahead, usually then falling back to cover up RTJ. Not this time. Maybe I jinxed the fact that they were usually sticking together here. We are sitting here in silence as things are getting a bit tense. They're far apart at the moment. Psyche is on the sky bridge, Tentacle in the basement, but both of them... Okay, there we go. Psyche picked up the ghost, heard the beeps, but little does he know that he only heard it because he's right below him now. He's not in the basement as I called. My bad. They might run into each other now. Psyche taking it was a very aggressive jump into his face. So we got a lead coming up from Jinrai again. It keeps balancing itself out though, so maybe an NSF might take round 9. We are having our first lieutenant on the Smelli Skanks team, which is Psyche, not picking up any assault lieutenant weapons here. He sticks to the MX, and I think that's a good idea, especially with this, because just imagine you're having an SRS on the roof, and you got a recon that is going in fast, jumping in from the fence. One shot, you might get screwed from the side.
It's very important though when it comes to playing the snipers in very open areas like this.
The traits remain real. It's always starting off with somebody doing an entry, quickly followed by the other team killing off someone else.
Oh, BK is picking up the ghost. Here's the beeps. I think he's just getting intel with the ghost and holding that position.
Now, quick question to Deep Frog here. I'm not sure if you've also observed this. Has BK been the only person on Smelli Skanks to hold the ghost so far to give intel?
I think so, yeah. He's captured the ghost once, and yeah, he moved the ghost quite a few times, I think.
Oh, smoke grenade trying to get BK flushed out here. Didn't seem to work because it bounced off against the window. Tentacle now in the little yard between both entrances. Scriber still far back, so he's not picked up by the ghost. Going in with a nade. Not nailing it though.
Oh. Scribe watching BK.
I think BK is trying to figure out where exactly Scriber is because he doesn't see him from that range. But it doesn't really matter now because Tentacle's attempt of trying to sneak up from below didn't work.
Scribe is going to be pushing. I think they're both on the flank now as Scribe is just watching the ghost.
Yeah, he's not realizing that they're coming up from behind. Not that it really okay, never mind, the time ran out. I was about to say, not that it really matters, because if he turns around, he might be able to pick off BK if he runs into him, which bring it down to a 1v1. And if he gets a drop on RTJ somehow, he would have taken him down as well. His health wasn't a bad condition either. So he would have done it if he would have, you know, figured out a way to get the drop on them.
Would have been interesting to see it, but unfortunately we got the draw.
That, and the fact that Psyche didn't take any lieutenant weapons again. So he's taking a safe route here, which is respectable.
Starting with the bunny hops though.
Scriber being the one that enters now. Let's see if there's going to be a trade or anything that evens us out in the next few seconds. Both teams have been burning through their grenades fairly fast here. I think there's one smoke left on both teams' supports though.
Mugi dropped his depth pack as well, meaning that there's no support on that front. Ooh, Psyche was in an awkward position there. We've got Tentacle watching stairs now, pushing down.
So, as I've been seeing on the chat in Hitbox, Agile just asked, is it really trades when the return frag is on the other side of the map? Good question there.
Oh, RTJ gets 2 kills on Mugi and Scriber.
Now it's back down to the 1v1. Both supports getting personal here again.
Tentacle has the chance to pull it off with more health, but RTJ could have the drop.
Oh, he even picked up the ghost. This is a really bad position to be in because now he lacks all the firepower to actually get back to it. That, and he's going to try to run past the tarmac, which is very risky to do.
Ooh, RTJ's quickly making the distance shorter.
Quite the chase here. He's keeping himself behind the objects, but now he dropped the ghost, kind of just trying to Kyle it. Not winning it. If he would have utilized hopping with the ghost, that would have been forbidden, so he had no other choice but to fight back, because he would have been picked off way later at the chopper somewhere if he wouldn't have stopped. I personally find situations like these very interesting, because like RTJ did, he's allowed to hop. He knows that Tentacle wasn't allowed to bunny hop with the ghost, so he has the advantage here. So a wild goose chase like this is quite thrilling for the person holding the ghost, I'm pretty sure. So we're looking at NSF being completely apart, covering each lane somewhat. We got Jinrai also somewhat split apart now, covering certain lanes. BK is for once not really doing much intel, he's just holding himself reserved, probably waiting for another part of the team to give through any orders for him to flank or attack. In the meantime, they're all just playing it very passively. I mean, Jinrai is entitled to doing so. They have nothing to lose, they're in the lead, so they're the ones that, you know, have to rely on them running into them. Like NSF running into Jinrai here.
I'm surprised Mugi hasn't depth packed the ghost again.
The aggressive push by Psyche, shot down by Scriber, at a cost of nearly all his health, but still. This was one of the few occasions where the aggressive push was actually shot down early. It's down to BK and RTJ, but they're in a health advantage, so this might prove very good for them.
Ooh, Mugi's in a tight position.
Mugi's on a chase here. Right on RTJ, but not pulling it.
It was close.
Now, here's the problem with this. Mugi had way less health than RTJ, not only that, but with an SRM directly facing the support, jumping right into his back can prove very risky, as we saw. RTJ has a lot of time to react, turning around, especially with an MX, he can take down Mugi in like 1 or 2 hits, especially with 57 health. So, maybe it wasn't the wisest to just jump him.
Psyche with the AA-13.
Yeah, we now got a full lieutenant lineup in Jinrai here. This is quite dire. All they need is one more point.
Oh, BK seems to be going for the ghost. Never mind.
It's very tense now. I mean, now NSF is the one that is kind of holding it back, whereas Psyche is gaining control over the basement, just checking out the situation here. The basement.
BK taking some shots.
Running right into the AA here.
Looks like it's up to Tentacle.
Tentacle will have a really hard time, especially with BK just going onto the ghost. Now the position is revealed, the first boops are coming in. You can just see the eyes all move to the position of Tentacle, especially now coming in from the sky bridge, from the courtyard.
You gotta think though, if Tentacle stayed up on that roof there, he would have potentially been able to take out, you know, BK, but no.
He is very intimidated by being outnumbered here, and he gets shot down by the AA on a fair distance. Having a 7-3, this concludes the first map. Next up will be... I'm actually not sure.
The losing team decides, so WorstNT will be deciding the next map.
I'm pretty sure they will pick Transit, though. Will they announce it in the server or will they do it secretly?
Hmm. So we move to Mugatron serve.
Sounds
Okay,
pretty
so
fair to me because that sounds like a fair shift of ping here.
yeah, very fair. It's nice to see that we're using multiple servers for this, though, instead of just one.
Let's see what the chat is doing a bit here. Just an eye while we wait. So Deep Frog,